Greetings, philosophers. Welcome back to the podcast where we dive deep into the ideas that shaped our world. Today, we're traveling back to the 6th century BCE to a small but mighty region called Ionia, modern-day Western Turkey and its islands. This place, not Athens, not Rome, was the cradle of Western philosophy. Why? How did a cluster of coastal cities spark the ideas that still influence how we think about the universe, reality, and ourselves? Let's unpack the geographical and historical factors that made Ionia the birthplace of big questions. Grab a coffee, settle in, and let's explore. First, let's picture Ionia. Imagine a stunning coastline along the Aegean Sea dotted with vibrant city-states like Miletus, Ephesus, and Samos. These weren't just sleepy towns, they were thriving hubs of trade and culture in the 6th and 5th centuries BCE. Ionia wasn't a single kingdom, but a collection of independent cities, each with its own flavor, yet connected by a shared Greek language and culture. But what made this place so special? It's all about location and opportunity. Ionia sat at the crossroads of the ancient world. To the east you had the powerful Persian Empire and the older civilizations of Mesopotamia. To the south, Egypt, with its advanced mathematics and astronomy. To the west, the Greek mainland and the Mediterranean. Ionia was like the grand central station of ideas. Ships brought not just goods like spices, textiles, and grain, but also stories, myths, and knowledge from across the known world. This constant flow of information created a melting pot, and when you mix cultures, you get questions. Big ones, like what's the world made of, or why do things exist? Let's zoom in on the geography of Ionia, because it played a huge role in making it a philosophical hotspot. First off, its coastal location. Cities like Miletus and Ephesus were major ports, raking in wealth from maritime trade. This wasn't just about money. It meant there was a class of people with the time and resources to think, debate, and write. In a world where most folks were farming or fighting to survive, this was a big deal. Wealth gave Ionians the luxury to ponder the universe. Then there's the land itself. Ionia had fertile plains, rivers, and a mild climate, which meant reliable food production. When your basic needs are met, you can start asking deeper questions. The natural environment, rivers flowing, mountains rising, the endless sea, probably inspired early thinkers to wonder about the forces behind it all. Take Thales of Miletus, often called the first philosopher. He looked at the world and said, maybe everything is made of water. That's not just a random guess. It's a reflection of living in a place surrounded by water where rivers and seas were part of daily life. But the real magic was Ionia's access to other cultures. Traders brought Egyptian geometry, Babylonian star charts, and Persian ideas about the cosmos. This wasn't just stuffy academic exchange. It was lively, messy, and exciting. Imagine a merchant from Egypt telling a story about the Nile's floods, or a Babylonian trader sharing how they mapped the stars. Ionians didn't just listen. They questioned. They took these ideas, compared them to their own myths, and started looking for patterns. This cross-pollination was key to kicking off philosophy as we know it. Now let's talk about the historical moment. Ionia wasn't just in the right place. It was the right time. In the 6th century BCE, the Greek world was shifting. For centuries, people explained the world through myths. Think Hesiod's tales of gods like Chaos and Gaia creating the universe. But in Ionia, something new was happening. Thinkers started asking, what if we explain the world without gods? What if there's a natural reason for everything? This was a radical break, and Ionia's history made it possible. One big factor was political freedom. Ionian cities, while sometimes under Persian rule, often had a degree of autonomy. They weren't locked into rigid hierarchies like some other societies. In places like Miletus, we see early experiments with democracy, citizens gathering to debate laws and ideas. This openness created a culture where questioning authority wasn't just allowed, it was encouraged. Philosophers like Xenophanes could critique traditional Greek gods, saying they were too human-like to be real, without being silenced. That's huge for fostering free thought. Then there's the intellectual chain reaction. Ionia produced a string of thinkers who built on each other's ideas. Thales, around 585 BCE, suggested water as the fundamental substance of the universe. His student Anaximander went further, proposing an abstract boundless substance. Then Anaximenes, another Milesian, argued for air. This wasn't just random theorizing. It was a school of thought, a community of minds pushing each other to refine their ideas. That kind of intellectual continuity was rare in the ancient world. Ionia's contact with advanced civilizations also gave it a head start. For example, Thales reportedly traveled to Egypt, learning geometry to measure pyramids' shadows. Babylonian astronomy provided data on stars and planets, which Ionians used to develop their own theories. Even the Lydian Empire, right next door, introduced coined money, which got people thinking abstractly about value and exchange, ideas that spilled into philosophy. This blend of practical knowledge and curiosity fueled a new way of thinking, rational, evidence-based, and bold. So why does Ionia matter? It wasn't just about a few guys in togas arguing about water or air. Ionia gave us the first step toward Western philosophy, a shift from myth to reason. These thinkers asked questions we still grapple with. What's the universe made of? How do we know what's true? Their ideas influenced Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and through them, the entire Western intellectual tradition, from science to ethics to politics. Ionia's secret sauce was its unique blend of geography and history. Its coastal location brought wealth and diverse ideas. Its political freedom and cultural openness let those ideas flourish. And its thinkers had the audacity to question everything, setting a template for critical thinking. Without Ionia, we might not have the scientific method, democracy, or even this podcast, because asking why started there. That's the story of Ionia, the unlikely birthplace of Western philosophy. It shows us how the right place, at the right time, with the right mix of freedom and curiosity, can change the world. What do you think? Could another Ionia spark a new intellectual revolution today? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more journeys into the ideas that shape us. Until next time, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next episode.